We're Kyle and Jared Lott of Smack TV.
Each week we go into millions of homes to show you great hunting.
And we couldn't do what we do without TC Outdoors doing what they do.
It doesn't matter if your adventure takes you fishing in the local pond or on a cross-country hunt.
TC Outdoors is going to be there for you with gear, know-how, and support, just like they are for us.
They've been here for years. We know them.
And we trust them.
So come by TC Outdoors on Northside Drive. Tell them Jared and Kyle sent you.
And welcome to the Georgia Southern Post-Game Wrap-Up Show. I'm Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor and Georgia Southern beat writer for the Statesboro Herald. Mike, Georgia Southern in Game 2, looks like they've made a vast improvements on both sides of the ball. They come out on top, 34-13, knocking off UMass. We kind of circled this game preseason as being important from the standpoint of you can't lose this game and then go into that Clemson game. Well, they didn't. They pulled off the victory. Your thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, Georgia Southern last week, they get the win against South Carolina State, and by their own admission, it was pretty much we just want to get the win. You know, we'll take a look at the things that we did right, the things that we did wrong, and we'll look to improve as the season goes on. And to their credit, that's exactly what it looks like they did. They come out against a UMass team that really got their season turned around last year against Georgia Southern after both teams were winless going up to Amherst, Massachusetts. UMass gets a couple big wins. Georgia Southern, they spiraled throughout the rest of that season. But now Georgia Southern with a big head of steam, they get their opening win and then they roll in against UMass. They pretty much kicked them around from the beginning. UMass gets the early score, goes up 3-0, but after that, the Georgia Southern offense gets rolling. Shy Wertz looked great in the first game. I think he looked even better tonight. Not quite the rushing yardage that he had against South Carolina State, but again, in this offense, the defense kind of dictates who needs to get those yards, and Shy did a great job of controlling and distributing the ball, not only on the ground, but through the air.
Yeah, the passes weren't exactly pinpoint. There were a few that Wesley Kennedy had to wait on and catch, but the thing is, when they started throwing the ball, it seemed like it opened up the middle a lot more than the last week against South Carolina State.
Right, it was one complementing the other, and you could also say that because the Eagles were able to block so well and have success on the ground, that left receivers with a little more room for air when they did take to the air, and some of those passes that maybe the receivers had to wait up for, those are deflections, maybe even interceptions in past years when Georgia Southern's opponents weren't respecting the pass as much. They were keen on the run, and they were respecting the pass because they didn't have to respect the run as much. But Georgia Southern, very solid in all facets of the game, and over 100 yards through the air. Anytime you get that from Georgia Southern and a typical Georgia Southern rushing effort, it's pretty rare that you see anything other than a win.
You get a Tyler Bass 50-yard field goal, which
into
is
the wind.
Nice to see, into the wind. Defense creates a few good turnovers there in the game. Just an overall nice performance by Georgia Southern. Let's get out and take a look right now at some of the highlights. The Georgia Southern Eagles hosting UMass, and while they may have the Minutemen, freedom belongs to Georgia Southern, and making a nice entrance on Saturday afternoon, as do the Eagles before a good crowd at Paulson Stadium. Head coach Chad Lunsford looking to move to 2-0 on the season, and early on the defense stepping up here. Jay Bowdry with the hit. The Minutemen able to take an early 3-0 lead though on this Mike Cagino field goal. Monteo Garrett then with a nice first down run for Georgia Southern. Later, after making it on a fourth down, the Eagles go for it again on 4th and short, but this time Wesley Fields stops short. UMass takes over, but the defense holds them, and then the offense with another chance, and Wesley Fields with a 43-yard run. He finished with 141 yards rushing. We move to the second quarter, and the Eagles strike quickly. The play-action pass, Shy Wertz to Cam Brown for the touchdown, and it's 7-3 Eagles. More air Eagles. Wertz to Wesley Kennedy, who cuts upfield. This drive would stall. In comes Tyler Bass for the 41-yard field goal. It's good. The Eagles take a 10-3 lead. UMass able to answer, though. Long drive capped off by Jordan Fredericks. 1-yard run to tie it at 10, but the Eagles right back. Wertz On the far side to Kennedy for the first down pass. Later, Wirtz to Kennedy again, this time down to the 3-yard line, and finally Wirtz will take it himself, going up the middle for the score. And we go to the half with Georgia Southern leading 17-10. Second half, in the pitch to Garrett. He hurdles a defender. The Eagles with 334 yards rushing. Garrett with 90. Tyler Bass then from 50 yards out, and he had some room to spare on that one. It's 20-10 Eagles. The defense playing too hard, I guess, for the refs' liking. Somehow this one ruled as targeting on Rashad Byrd. The Minutemen add another field goal to cut the lead to 20-13, but from there it was all Eagles. Wirtz, play action, going deep. Don't think they're both supposed to be there, but heck, Malik Murray with the nice grab inside the 30, and then it's Wirtz rolling and finding Colby Ransom. Wirtz 6 of 9 with 2 touchdown passes, 27-13 Eagles. Coach Lunsford, meantime, firing up the crowd and the Eagle defense. Check out the hit here. And then I guess that's a crawl by Marquavian Brinson. Next, it's Randy Wade with a hit for no gain. Back on offense, another time-consuming Eagle drive. Fields up the middle, refusing to go down into UMass territory. More tough running from Fields coming up here. He delivers a hit himself, lowering the shoulder. Next, the Eagles go to Logan Wright for another first down. Garrett then here with the 15-yard carry. And finally, check out Garrett with some nice vision, finding a hole where it looks like there wasn't one, and busts into the end zone for the finishing touch on an impressive 34-13 Eagle victory. After the game, we had a chance to talk with Coach Lunsford and some of the players about the victory over UMass.
I feel like we made a lot of improvement, but it doesn't stop here. Of course, you got to continue to improve throughout the season.
What was it you feel like was better out there this time?
We was just more relaxed. I feel like first game, all those nerves, kind of tense, kind of tight. This game, I felt like we just went out there and played. We know what we had to do from last week to this week, and I feel like we did a pretty good job of doing it.
It seemed like the play action and the passing kind of opened up the run game a little bit for you guys.
Yeah, it did. It started up front. O-line did a heck of a job of doing their job, and it allowed me to sit in the pocket and make some throws. And it also allowed me to get outside the pocket and make some throws, and the receivers did a great job of getting open.
We were real hyped. During the whole week, we were focused on them and ready for them, ready for all their players who they had, all their key players. We studied them hard as we can, and we was ready for them. We shut them down. I feel like we showed up, D-block represent. We came hard, we fought hard, and our safeties and stuff, they played hard, we gave it all we got, and that's what it is.
Last year they beat us pretty bad, and we wanted our revenge, and so we were pretty hyped up about that, and I think we showed them how bad we wanted it tonight. It's a feeling like none other. We work day in and day out every week. We work hard, and just to see it pay off is pretty indescribable.
Like I was kind of saying a little bit earlier, man, just watching last year, just going through last year with that game, it's kind of it put a chip on our shoulder, and we definitely used that as motivation to come out here tonight and just put up a good ball game for 4 quarters.
They say you're supposed to make the most jump between game 1 and game 2. Do you feel like you guys did that?
I most certainly think we did, man. You can see, man, look at the offensive line, man. They just grinding, man. They working hard, man. The D-line working hard. We all working together as a unit, man. We just putting it all together, and we just got to keep grinding, man. Just take it day by day.
What was really awesome about this game is we talked about it all week, that it was going to be a blue-collar football game. And at some point, we were going to need to make sure that we finished. And, there was a couple times there that we could have went ahead and put it away, and it didn't happen, and some adversity happened when we fumbled. And what I'm so proud about them is that they came back out and they finished the game. They finished the game, and these guys, hats off to the offensive line. Really great push. We got a great inside running game tonight, And just proud of the defense and how they played, because UMass is a very good offense. And so that was just very impressive that we could come out and get win number 2. What we talked about all week was the biggest improvement happens from game 1 to game 2. We're still a young football team, and we're learning, and we're trying to get better. And what I like about these guys, they're so locked in, they're so focused. They take practice serious. They really do a great job of just trying to listen and get better. And we really challenged the offensive line this week, and I really felt like they stepped up.
The offense, it seemed like you added a little bit of passing this time around, and that seemed, when you did that, to really open up the field.
Yeah, obviously we're going to have to be able to throw the ball. I mean, as good as we're running the football right now, they're going to be stacking the box, and we got to be able to make sure. And I know we did a great job tonight. I think we went 6 of 9 and was very efficient in the passing game. We're going to have to throw it a little bit more. We are, and I think we're going to get there. We're just, we're working each week to try to get better in that phase of the game. We went into that last game very simple, on purpose. We had a lot of new guys playing. We had 3 brand new offensive linemen last week, and so we felt like we had to go into the game simple. So we opened up the playbook a little bit more today, and we'll continue to grow as we get better. I thought it was really good how our defensive guys really took to the coaching this week of looking at personnel, looking at the formations, and really dialing into what they did out of certain things. And they were locked in, and that was good to see. This football team, I've said it all week to them. I said, we're a blue-collar football team. We're not sexy. We're blue-collar, and that's what we are. And we got to play a lot of guys. That's exactly what we are. And so everybody has to pitch in. Everybody has to have a role. These young guys, they've got to understand very quickly that this is major college football, and they're doing a good job, and that's why they're getting the opportunity to play on the field.
So, Mike, 2-0 on the season. Not much time to celebrate this one as Clemson's on the horizon, but for the Eagles, as we mentioned, you want to put together a little bit of momentum going into that Clemson game. It looks like they did that here tonight.
Yeah, and obviously they've got their work cut out for them in Clemson, who, as of this taping, is the number 2 team in the country. A very good team. They've got a national championship just 2 years removed from that. Another favorite to be in the playoffs and maybe contend for another title this year. But Georgia Southern can only play who's on the schedule each week, and next week it happens to be Clemson. But good for the Eagles that they've got 2 solid performances, and even better that their second performance, as you said, you get better from the first week to the second, and that's what they did. Their second week performance, their best one of the year. All they can do is try to improve on that, and yeah, it'll be against a much tougher team, but who knows what will happen. The best thing they can do is just make sure they play their best game in 7 more days.
All right, 34-13 victory for the Georgia Southern Eagles over UMass. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.